Hi there folks, welcome to Dunzy's Guitar World. Today's video is all about this guitar and the pickups that are in it. So this guitar cost me £20, if you can believe that. This is a 1980 Gibson Les Paul Firebrand. So I won this in an auction. My friend was auctioning this off at £20 a ticket because he had to pay a vet's bill, and I won this guitar. Now when it came to me, it looked like this. Seymour Duncan blackout pickups and no pickguard. Now these pickups sounded really good. Let's have a quick listen. But they were a little bit too hot for me, a bit too high output. So I have changed them over, and this video is all about these new pickups. These are Tonerider Alnico 2 classics, and they sound a bit more classic, a bit like this. So apologies in advance, there is an extended Widdle at the end of this video. So the bulk of the video will be sound samples from these pickups, which are pretty much budget pickups. So let's listen to some clean sounds to begin with. They're quite spiky. I think most of the pickups I have are Alnico 4 pickups. The Alnico 2 to me seems a little spikier than those. I don't know if you have any experience with Alnico 2 versus Alnico 4 pickups, but please do let me know which one you prefer. So the Seymour Duncan pickups that were in this when I got it are active pickups. So I had to change all of the pots and everything to put these passive pickups in. Now I don't know if you can see here, the control cavity cover is clear, so I had to make sure I did a relatively neat job when I was rewiring this. So it took quite a bit of work. Let's see what I had to do to change over all the pots and everything like that. And the sound you'll be hearing in the background is more overdriven sounds from these Tonerider Alnico 2 classics. So it was quite a bit of work to get all this changed over, and I found a pickguard as well. This is a pickguard from I think a Greco Les Paul, which I've put on it. So it looks totally different now. If you look at what these guitars came stock from the factory, they had T-tops, or the earlier ones had T-tops. There was no pickguard, and all of the hardware was nickel or chrome plated hardware. But now this looks really cool to me because it has all gold hardware, it has a pickguard, and I like the gold covered pickups. I tend not to have covers on my humbuckers, but I just thought it looks pretty classy on this. Now I've seen other ones which people have upgraded to have like cream pickups and cream surrounds, and I think that looks pretty good as well. Now I do have a vintage DiMarzio Super Distortion here, So I'm kind of half thinking maybe changing this for cream plastics and put a super distortion in to get, you know, not as high gain as the Seymour Duncan Blackouts, but something a bit more metal maybe. In fact, let's see if these Tonerider Alnico 2 classics can do some chugging metal. So they can do chuggy metal, the old Toneriders. So I don't think I need to do this. I don't do a lot of metal these days, it's more kind of classic rock. So let's look at the specs of these Tonerider pickups and see what we're getting here. So about £95 for these two pickups, which I think is very good value. So the guitar now has cost me £115, if you can believe that, £115 for what is a pretty cool looking guitar, it has to be said. I mean, it's a very, very basic Les Paul. It doesn't have like a carved top, it does have sort of chamfering round here, sort of comfort, but it's a very, very basic Les Paul. Now, when I got it from Robbie, it had been painted green when he got it from Canada, and that was all stripped off and it's finished in some sort of, I think he said gun stock oil or something like that. It's just a cool looking guitar, I think, and for £115, you know, I really cannot complain. So I'm really happy with this, the Tonerider Alnico 2 Classics. I like a little bit spiky at times, so I think I do need to test it out in a band situation. I actually have here in my hand now, I have a Tonerider Alnico 4. So I think what I'll do is, I like the sound of the neck very, very much. And let's say I do like the sound of the bridge, but I'm interested to find out what it will be like compared the Alnico 2 compared to the Alnico 4. But that's for a future video. So for the end of this, as I said at the beginning, you know, a public service announcement, there is about a 5-minute Widdle coming up with these Tonerider pickups and this 1980 Gibson Les Paul Firebrand. So stick around as long as you can. As ever folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsi's Guitar World. Cheers for now.